For the last number of years, Roberto Robocop Soldić has earned himself the reputation as the most terrifying knockout artist outside of the UFC. Born of Croatian parents in Bosnia, Soldić erupted into the consciousness of European MMA fans in 2017 when he stopped two of the continent's renowned fighters under the Cage Warriors and KSW banners.
And Long has got to be very careful about...
His run as the KSW Welterweight champion has put a bigger spotlight on Robocop than ever, and his former rivalry with current UFC middleweight Dricus du Plessis has left even more people pondering how the knockout artist would get on against top UFC contenders. This is Pete Carroll for MMA On Point, and this is Roberto Soldić, the most terrifying welterweight outside of the UFC. I spoke to the KSW champion ahead of his title defense against Patrick Kinkle at KSW 63 Crime of the Century on September 4th. We discussed his entry into the world of combat sports, his breakthrough year in 2017, his reign as KSW champion, his clash with Kinkle, and the epic options that await him should he have his hand raised in Warsaw. In the same way that a young stunt bike rider would look no further than Evel Knievel as an inspiration for his craft. For fighters growing up in Bosnia, Croatia and the surrounding areas, one particular great fighter's ascent in the world of combat sports ushered them into dreams of similar success. That great fighter is, of course, Mirko Krokop Filipovic. Even though Soldić has now trained with the great champion on a number of occasions, he still remembers the devastating striker's runs in Pride and the UFC as a major catalyst for his own aspirations.
We watch like kids, we watch the Krokop, and he is one of the part of my life that I see to go into MMA. We watch him against Minotauro, Bob Sapp, 2005-06, and then when he went to UFC, everybody watched Mirko Krokop in Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia,
Unlike most 26-year-olds who are at the height of their power in MMA, Soldić didn't have an established MMA gym to frequent as he grew up, so he took matters into his own hands. Initially, he started in traditional martial arts before wandering into a boxing gym to test his mettle at the tender age of 17.
I started judo. I put in my village one bag. I hit the bag for the whole day. I run a lot. We don't have good discipline there. The people just go outside drinking parties. So I don't wanna be like other people, other guys. One morning I wake up and I start just to train. I want to spar with the guys. Some guys. We had some good guys, boxers, And then the guys train like 10 years box, and I went for sparring, and then I give some punches, and then I see, whoa, I can give something, And then I find myself, every day I work. I cannot believe that people train like 10 years every day, and then I just came and boom. And then I talk, hey, I beat this guy. They say, hey, no way, hey, I want to fight.
After gaining some pro experience on the regional scene, at 3-0 he took off to Germany at 19 years of age to enlist the services of one of Europe's top gyms, the University of Fighting Dusseldorf, popularly referred to as UFD.
It's only one kid with the dream to go somewhere, I left my house, I left everything. I moved to Germany. I slept 2 years in the gym, and only hard work, discipline, and hard work, dedication.
Soldić looked to take on all comers across Eastern Europe after the move. And despite two close decision losses, one of which came against current Bellator welterweight champion Yaroslav Amosov, Robocop stayed committed. He rectified his split decision loss to Amosov with 4 straight wins within the space of a year, which also saw him claim the welterweight title with German promotion Superior FC. It's likely that he gained the attention of celebrated Cage Warriors matchmaker Ian Dean in 2017 when he defended his title for the first time against Des the Arm Collector Parker, who boasted notable wins over UK standouts Perry Goodwin and Jack Grant in their early careers. Displaying his power and explosivity from his southpaw stance, Soldić ended Parker's night in the first round when a thudding head kick signaled the beginning of the end of the contest. 4 weeks later, still a relative unknown to UK and Irish fans, Soldić met Welsh standout Lou Long in the main event of Cage Warriors 87, putting on a sensationally aggressive display that put him on the map. In 40 seconds, he sent Long headfirst into the canvas after uncorking another vicious head kick, striking terror into his fellow welterweight contenders as he sent a parting shot into Long as referee Rich Mitchell tried to stop the action. A win over Long solidified Soldić as a top European welterweight. A victory of that magnitude would have likely placed him on top of the pile in terms of Cage Warriors welterweight contenders, so it was a surprise when he was booked for a showdown with Polish legend and KSW welterweight champion Borys Mankowski 2 weeks later. The kings of spectacle, KSW packed the capacity crowd of Mankowski worshippers into the venue for KSW 41. After a bludgeoning display by the young powerhouse, Mankowski bowed out of the fight on his stool before the beginning of the championship rounds. Although many, including this reporter, were shocked by Soldić's breakout year in 2017, Robocop had been planning for the moment for his whole life.
They opened the stores, and I like, hey, what the fuck, 30,000 people. It was many, but I train every day. I train 2 times a day, every day. I just do this. MMA is my life. I do every day sparring, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, circle trainings, discipline, eat, sleep, no party, and then Roberto is easy money, and then when I give, this guy is ready, everything is about mind, it's head is first thing in this sport is head. If you beat yourself, then you can beat everyone.
While his reputation as one of the most fearsome knockout artists in Europe was fortified from his showings against Long and Mankowski, Soldić suffered a significant speed bump to his trajectory when he met double EFC champ and current UFC middleweight Dricus du Plessis. An epic encounter at KSW 43 saw Soldić drop du Plessis in the first minute of the fight. The South African stayed in the fray, visibly draining Soldić with his superior size for the remainder of the opening stanza. Soldić came out swinging in the second, but Still Knocks dropped him 90 seconds in with a check left hook before finishing him on the ground.
I didn't have the discipline about my food, Some of my guys say, hey, look, Dricus is too big. He is double champion EFC in South Africa, and you have to gain more weight. You have to be more stronger, but there was a mistake, I cut like 30 kilograms. I cut from Monday till Friday, and then I was done. If weight cut is not good, so fight camp you can forget. The most important thing is weight cut. If you don't recover after Friday, till Saturday, you're done. I was full, I was sick. I think this was the reason that I lose. I rush a lot. I wanna finish so quick because I know that if go third, 4 round, I'm done because the weight cut kill me.
An immediate rematch was booked for 6 months later in London's Wembley Arena. Despite coming off his first stoppage loss, Soldić looked back to his best, with du Plessis succumbing to strikes in the 3rd round and therefore returning the welterweight title to the Croatian. Despite the somewhat heated rivalry they shared, Soldić only heaps praise on his former foe when asked about their 2 clashes.
Yeah, we had some talk before also, before the first fight, so I like Dricus. I respect Dricus. He's a very good fighter. You see what he do now. UFC, big 2 knockouts, bonus. He's very good fighter, but if I'm fresh, if I'm healthy, everybody can have trouble with me.
Ever since that revenge win in 2018, Soldić has held the KSW title. Directly after du Plessis, he stopped Vinicius Borre in the first round of their clash. After that, a similar fate awaited previously undefeated Christian Kajubowski in what was his first official defense of his second reign. Although Michał Piecic forced him the distance, it did little to stop the excitement building around Robocop. He may have struggled against the size of du Plessis back in 2018, but his latest fight against another Polish legend moved him steadily towards iconic status. Former KSW middleweight champion Michał Materla, a fighter who once signed for the UFC and returned to KSW without competing in the octagon, was a passenger for the affair at KSW 56, with a first round stoppage showcasing that Soldić can be a threat at middleweight as well as welterweight. As you may know, KSW is one of my favourite promotions. Completely unique, over the top, and always exciting, I truly believe that Martin Lewandowski and Maciej Kowalski do not get the international plaudits they deserve for their spectacular product. Roberto Soldić is a prime example of the careers that they have forged, and this weekend he will return to defend his welterweight crown against Patrick Kinkle, a man he was first slated to meet in 2019. For those of you who have not watched the trailer for the show, it depicted Soldić as a dangerous criminal mastermind locked behind bars, and in counterpart, Kinkle as a secret agent. It's a nod to Kowalski, a movie movie director as well as a promoter, and the spectacular promos and stadium shows he oversees for KSW. Even though Soldić was merely playing a prisoner in the promo, it seems to have taken a toll on the young champion.
For the marketing, KSW is really number one. I was that day like 9 hours for 2 minutes video. I sit with my opponent, I look in his eyes, we talk, I can shake the hands, but when the cage closed, I'm different. It's a real jail. And I put the orange, sweet, and it's not feel good. I see something, it's very hard, very tough, Jail is crazy. They put me like I don't know, I do 2-3 hours the movies, push-ups, and I feel like I'm in jail because you are already there.
Soldić had taken up camp at TriStar ahead of the first scheduled meeting with Kinkle. When Kinkle withdrew from the contest on Fight Week, Soldić underlined his disappointment with the scenario to me in an interview for MMAfighting.com. Although he was understandably disappointed with what had happened 2 years ago, he now knows not to lose focus ahead of big title fights.
One time where I was angry, his first fight with Rikus. From that, I never angry. This lose make me I learn a lot of lessons. Everything is about calm. We will take what is the best. Maybe the guy really run, maybe fall down. I don't know what. Maybe some politics, maybe not, maybe who knows. But he's now official again. I train for what he do, and I'm prepared for that.
He even went out of his way to praise the Czech standout's achievements.
Patrick Kintel is big star in Czech Republic. He fought many guys. Shlemenko, Arbiaguev, and also Vemola, very good guys, so I respect him. I accept tough fight, but I'm ready to go.
After a star-making win over Materla late last year, the talk of a meeting between Soldić and arguably the best fighter to ever grace the KSW cage, Mamed Khalidov, gained a lot of traction. Pitting Soldić in a super fight against one of the greatest middleweights ever could be one of the biggest fights KSW could make, and Soldić is up for the challenge if Khalidov agrees to sign on the dotted line.
Mamed is very big name and really very good fighter. Skills is amazing. I respect him a lot, what he made, how he bring the KSW up. In Poland, when you go, everybody watch the KSW. It's like football, If you go there, the Polish guys, everyone follows the KSW. Of course, it's a lot of motivation for me, but they need to sign, Lewandowski, my manager, Ivan Maciej Kawuski is from his manager. They need to sign and put good money, pay-per-view, and let's fight. I'm ready to fight, and after this, shake the hand. It's like always, respect for everyone. But for sure, I'm really motivated for that fight. If that happened, the fight, one of the biggest opponents in my career, for sure.
The Khalidov clash is just one of many rumours that are currently circulating the 26-year-old. KSW are said to be in talks with Bellator at one point about a cross-promotional bout between Robocop and UK legend Paul Daly. Although it never came to be, Soldić sees an equally appealing option in matching him with former opponent and still undefeated Bellator champion Yaroslav Amosov.
They have some talk about Bellator, that they cross the fighters, but I don't know what they decide, Lewandowski and Mr. Scott Cooker. Now I have fight with Kintel. I'm focused in Bellator because I fought Yaroslav also before. He's now Bellator champion. Maybe they can make, big rematch, KSW champion against Bellator champion.
It's no secret that UFC matchmaker Sean Shelby is very keen on landing Soldić's signature too, but Soldić expressed his loyalty to KSW when I asked him about the looming interest from the US.
Yeah, he sent emails to Tommy, but I focus now on KSW. I stay same fighter. I stay same guy, if the money, fame comes, doesn't matter. I just train, it's hard to explain. I try to be calm, doesn't matter what happened, who comes, and they say, hey, we really want you in UFC, but I cannot go because I cannot just turn back of KSW and then I say I buy, because they made me also.
That being said, he knows that KSW fighters like Jan Błachowicz and Mateusz Gamrot have impressed in the UFC, which only gives him confidence should an octagon debut present itself.
Hard question, some guys when they move in UFC they lose a lot, 2-3 lose and finish. But some guys made statements like Gamrot. He was also KSW champion. You see what he do. And Jan Błachowicz also was KSW champion. He beats Adesanya, he's UFC champion now. Dricus made good in UFC. Every KSW fighter who go there, they made something nice, you know, some good knockouts, bonus.
Ahead of his last fight, when I asked about where he would place himself in the UFC rankings, Soldić forecasted he would be a top 10 UFC fighter. A year later, he believes he has hypothetically moved up the ladder.
Top 6. Top 6. First sign that this guy gonna be UFC champion. Wait, bro. First sign. I cannot talk. You know, the other guys. I say, hey, you're gonna. They go like, you know, I'm gonna be. But no, relax.
Given the title of this feature, I felt it was only right that I asked Soldić about how it feels to be perceived as terrifying by anyone who has seen him fight. Full disclosure, I'm baffled by what a nice guy he is given the aggressive energy he brings into contests. I felt it was only natural to ask him about the drastic dualism his everyday life and fight career embodies.
When I meet first time the people, you know, they think, this guy horrible, you know, bullshit, MMA fighter, look the ears, tattoos. Outside look is nothing, you know. The most thing is inside, you know. But when cage the close, I know that the other guy want to kill me. I'm prepared for this. It's just my defense. I wanna give the pressure. It's my style. I go forward, always forward, no back. People want to see the knockout. I have also a lot of pressure. They accept only a knockout from me. Robocop coming, okay, knockout.
Big thank you to PR champion of European MMA Alan Murphy for helping me book this interview, to Roberto for his time, Irish KSW fountain of knowledge Sean Denny for his help with pronunciation, and of course, all of you wonderful people for watching. Do not miss KSW 63 live from Warsaw on September 4th. You can get the pay-per-view worldwide at kswtv.com. We leave a little link to that in the description. I promise you, you will not regret it.